All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're jumping right into a pretty high-stakes briefing. Imagine you've just been made a general in a war you can't see, but you can definitely feel. This is the Spiritual Warrior's Rulebook.
So, meet Evan. He's our new general in the Army of Light. And you'd think his first day would be, a celebration, right? Nope. His very first message is basically a cry for help. He gets it, like, right away. The sheer scale of this fight is way, way bigger than anything one person can take on alone.
So Evan's superior, a being they call Lord Blue, just drops this total bombshell on him. It's like, hey, congrats, you're a general now. Great news, right? Oh, but your army? Yeah, you don't have one. You got to go recruit them yourself, down on Earth. I mean, can you imagine? Suddenly this huge promotion feels less like an honor and more like an impossible, lonely task.
But then, here comes the twist. Lord Blue tells him, look, there are tons of mystical armies up here in the higher realms, and they are ready to go. But they're all just sitting on the sidelines. And why? Well, because they literally can't step in and interfere with our world unless they get a specific, explicit invitation from someone on the ground. Someone exactly like Evan.
And this right here, this is the core rule of the entire game, the #1 unbreakable law of the cosmos, the primacy of free will. Think of it like the prime directive. It means no one, and I mean no one, not even the highest powers, can just step in and force a soul to make the right choice. It all has to be done freely.
Okay, so how does a general on the ground actually command these invisible forces? It's not like you just write a permission slip and say, go get them. No, there are rules. 3 big ones. First, the call has to come from your higher self, your true spiritual core, not from your ego or your personality. Second, you have to be super specific. We're talking battlefield commander calling in coordinates specific. And third, and this is a big one, you can never use them to trample on someone else's free will.
And this is where it gets really interesting. This reveals that the real war, it's not some epic battle in the sky with angels and demons. No, the true front line is internal. It's a battle for influence, and it's being fought inside the minds and hearts of every single person, especially the ones who are most vulnerable.
So you can imagine Evan's getting pretty frustrated at this point. He's got this whole cosmic rulebook he has to follow, but it seems like the enemy, the tempters, are just doing whatever they want with no consequences. So he asks Lord Blue, how? How do they get away with so much? How do they dodge all the karmic backlash? What's their secret?
The answer is actually chillingly simple. They don't get their own hands dirty, they use puppets.
Here's how this puppet tactic works. The tempters, they target people who've let their guard down. Maybe they're drunk, high, or just completely lost in anger or despair. Then they whisper temptations, project urges, and fan the flames of those negative emotions. But here's the crucial part. The human is the one who actually does the harmful thing. So when the cosmic bill comes due, guess who gets most of the blame? The puppet. Meanwhile, the puppeteer stays hidden, totally in the clear.
And this is a huge aha moment for Evan. He realizes, okay, free will means you have the right to be foolish, to give up your self-control. But wisdom is choosing to hold on to it. So keeping your head clear, staying in control of yourself, that's not just a nice idea. It's your #1 line of defense in this war. All right, this is where Evan just hits his breaking point. I mean, think about it. He's a general with no army. He's fighting an enemy that uses these invisible puppet tactics. And now he finds out he doesn't even get any weapons. Lord Blue says it's against cosmic safety rules to just hand him over. And that's it. Evan's done. Overwhelmed. He's ready to quit.
But right when he's about to give up, Lord Blue completely flips the script on what an arsenal even is. He says, it's not about physical weapons, Evan. It's about learning to discover and direct a fundamental power that's already inside you. He calls it the Holy Spirit fire.
And this fire, it's not just one thing. A good way to think about it is like electricity or even sunlight. It's this raw, living energy that a spiritual warrior can learn to shape. You can turn it into a focused beam, a protective shield, a huge cleansing wave, a spear, you name it. The possibilities are pretty much endless.
But, wielding this kind of power isn't automatic. It's a real skill. You have to ask yourself,
Where is this energy coming from? Is it my ego and my anger, or is it my higher self? What's the exact mission? Is it for protection, healing, and what about the scale and intensity? Are we talking a gentle touch or a roaring tidal wave? Because a vague intention is just going to get you a vague result. This whole thing demands precision, focus, and a crystal clear purpose.
Okay, so now Evan gets it. He understands the rules of engagement, the enemy's tactics, and the true nature of his weapons. So Lord Blue hits him with the ultimate strategic question, the big one. All right, General. To use these tools, you need a target. So tell me, what is your definition of a bad guy?
Evan's first answer is pretty straightforward. Anyone who's an enemy of my soul. And Lord Blue's response is just staggering. He basically says, well, General, by that definition, you're talking about most of the planet's population. Whoa, suddenly the scope of this war isn't just big, it's bigger and way more personal than Evan could have ever possibly imagined.
And that brings us to the final and probably the most important takeaway from this whole briefing. The real battlefield, it's not out there somewhere. It's not in some distant spiritual realm or against some shadowy group of bad guys. The primary front line of this war runs right through the middle of every single one of us. It's already inside you. The war isn't coming, it's been here the whole time. The only real question left is, what does a general do with that kind of knowledge?